As I walk through the woods and kind of share a running narrative, I wanted to boil it all down because it's simple and complex at the very exact same time. If we surround ourselves with the exact same type people, we're not going to, A, positively influence others around us that don't share our same views, or B, expand our mind and maybe realize the paradigm of ideology that we hold on so deeply might be flawed. And I'm going to give some examples with Daryl Davis. We have to get outside of our comfort zone, and that's with the media, with the news the deeply held views that we have on these hot button topics that instantly polarize or bring up at a dinner party, and you're like, oh gosh, that person thinks that, well, they're the enemy. Well, they might not be. They might be right, or reversely, we might be wrong, but we're not going to understand that unless we have relationship with these people, just share our hearts and show them where we're coming from. Instead, we like to go straight for the jugular and be right all the time, and that's not how we're going to change ourselves or others around us. So that's the long short of what you're about to see. Enjoy. Oh, one more thing. If you like what you're seeing and you think someone else in your life could benefit from this message, because we all have those friends, family, coworkers that are just ingrained in their thinking and they want to just go enemy, enemy, enemy. Maybe share this video. Maybe it can, maybe they're not the enemy. Or even if they are, maybe conversating, if that's really a word, with them might change their opinion instead of drawing the battle lines and staying away. So share it with them if you want, or don't. I can't support Trump. He's basically Hitler. I can't go along with this woke agenda. They're trying to turn my kids transgender. It's crazy out there, these illegals and this woke mentality and the DEI. Guys, I'm going to tell you a little story about Daryl Davis. Unfortunately, it's not streaming anymore. Daryl Davis is an African American who ended up befriending tons of prominent KKK members all throughout the 80s, 90s. And he would go to these meetings. There's a wonderful documentary. Oh my God, type in Daryl Davis. If I can find a link to a YouTube trailer or something, I'll put it down below. But this dude is a model on how we're supposed to be. And it's been going on since the dawn of time. Us versus them. Or the others, the less desirables. Even Jesus, while he's sitting down, what are the Sadducees and Pharisees doing? He's eating with tax collectors, prostitutes. Oh, Gentiles are at, oh my gosh. We're always playing this us versus them. And then we just surround ourselves with people like us that have the same opinions, that get their news sources, and then we live in an echo chamber and we don't get to understand the other side of the coin. And odds are, we're both wrong on so many different issues. We're all wrong. But you know what? We're not wrong with Jesus. I know you don't want to hear me talk about Jesus, but I can't stop, because this is the only way we get through it. We cannot get through whatever we're going through in the world with one side's more right than the other side. The only side that will prevail in the end is God. I'm telling you. And you can point to history. Oh, what about this? What about the Crusades? What about... Yeah, that's sinful type things that manifest, and people hold the flag of Christianity and horrible atrocities. But that's not the same Jesus I want to talk about. And with Daryl Davis going and meeting with KKK members and sitting down with them and saying, hey, let's just go eat. Let me tell you about myself. And over the course of months and years, these preconceived notions of hate that these men were living in were dissolved, because they're like, this dude's cool. He's normal. He's not like what we were fed, a black person that would be lesser than, and they gave up their robes, tons of them. It was fascinating. It's awesome. And it's so inspiring because we do not need just to surround ourselves with the same type of people. We're all the same. We have sin, they have sin. And there's only one way to destroy that sin. And I remember I was a school resource officer at kind of like an inner city school. And I didn't want to do this. Like, I was a brand new cop, rookie cop. The position opened up. No one put in for it because it was chaos. Fights all the time, drugs, drama. It was like being in a gladiator arena. And they forced me into it. I didn't want to go there. I started getting applications at other jobs, but a wise recruiting officer for another police department I was putting in for said, just try it. You might end up liking it. And if you don't like it, okay, put in an application. And I am so glad that I listened to his advice, because early on, when I would have, kids that grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, F the police, saying stuff to me, trying to punk me out in front of their friends. And no one taught me this. I went, you know what? I'm just going to break down these barriers. So I'd wait, not try to embarrass them or have a conversation in front of all their friends. I waited till they all went to class, had security take out the prominent gang leaders, the people that would try to punk me out, the kids that were the leaders, and I'd bring them to my office, or the security would bring them to my office, and they'd come in and just like, uh-oh, they didn't know what to expect. Am I in trouble? What's going on? And I'd shake their hand, go, hey, I'm Justin. I go, you wouldn't like it if someone judged you by the color of your skin, would you? No. Well, you're judging me by the uniform that I wear, and you don't know nothing about me. So let me tell you a little bit about me. And I'll tell them about the craziness of my youth and struggles and trials and tribulations and family turmoil. And you could see just the, oh my gosh. And I said, a lot of times in life, we judge other people and we don't know what's going on in their life. What do you want to do with your life? And they would say, oh, I want to be a football player. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'd say, okay, well, let me tell you a path how you can get to that, and then mentor them. And I always had a poster in my office, which got me in trouble. And it had a picture of the Bible. On top of it was a stack of money, and on top of it was a gun. And it had the word choices underneath it. And it was always the conversation starter, because kids would go, what is this? And I go, you got choices in life. You want to go with money? Pursue that. You want to go with power, gun, force? Because these kids, Or do you want to go to the Word of God, who created us? That's supreme knowledge. All these self-help books, they have their place. You can find some answers in them, but you're never going to find the ultimate answer. Why are we here? What's my purpose? How do I find satisfaction in life? Well, God gave us a blueprint for all that stuff in the Bible. And we can't just cherry pick a few passages. We got to know what the Bible is. And the next time I would be walking throughout the halls, and some other kids would try to punk me. And the kids that I developed a relationship with, the gang leaders that broke down those barriers, they would be like, no, man, Officer C's cool. No, he's not like, he's cool. And I realized it was all about relationship. And we can only influence the people in our little bubble. I get it. I can't change the world, but you can change it one person at a time. And hopefully it kind of starts something, a seed in your mind, if you have some preconceived biases about the others, the other less desirable people, whether they support this candidate or this candidate, have this ideology or that ideology. They're all the same. They're all the same. But there's one person who's not the same, and you know who that is. All right, guys. That's all. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, what have you. Bye-bye.